Comfortably make our way down onto our backs. Start this process of allowing your muscles to completely relax into the ground. They're not needing to support you at all in this moment. And just feel this wonderful breath flowing through the body. If our normal rate of breathing were the average that we've discovered is that people tend to breathe only about 30% of their capacity most of the time, the capacity of their lungs. Let's see if today we can improve that, at least during this hour that we have together. So maybe we're breathing more like 50% of our lung capacity, or maybe even occasionally taking a full enough breath that maybe that's about 100%. So at least we're taking this hour together to let our lungs be full, pumping air for us, accepting in prana, life force. The lungs are governed by the heart chakra. It's all energetically connected together, the heart and the lungs. And that is the system that allows prana to come into our body. As we're traveling through class today, we're going to start working on opening up the heart space, making it so if we normally hunch forward, we're getting practice rolling and opening our shoulders backwards, taking gentle back bending postures. And in this way, we're helping this heart chakra energy. I'd say part of that 30% capacity with us breathing might be any sort of rounded forward position that we normally take when working. So in this hour together, we're opening, we're expanding, we're inviting in more of this prana that enters into the heart chakra and then spreads, giving life, vitality, health, all throughout the body. So just that simple idea of inviting the prana in to lead us onto our class today. Let's begin some of our physical movements. And you start off coming into the chest. And we can begin to rock around a little bit. So listen to that low back, see how it feels. Slide the leg all the way long to the ground and see if you can hug this right knee in just a little bit more tightly. The right knee opens out to the right side. So just enjoy the hip opening. And then when the knee comes up, we start to send that bent knee into a twist all the way over to the left. So start to feel this upper back, the shoulders, the lungs, the heart, that entire area really winding its way open. From here, we're gradually going to build up into cat chasing its tail pose on this side. You don't have to progress any further than where you are exactly right now, though. If this is good enough, just stay and enjoy it right here. The next step, if you're wanting to go just a little bit deeper, is to begin straightening the top leg. So the right leg is straight off to the left. Slide the left hand down the back side of the leg. Maybe you end up at the thigh, the calf, or sometimes you can reach for the foot. And continue to feel the spine opening now at the same time as we're receiving that hamstring stretch. And if you'd like to try the last piece, our free right hand reaches up to grab those free left toes. Grab that connection and then continue to release the shoulder back open to the ground. So ultimately, if we're in the full thing, we've got hamstring stretch, we've got spinal twist, and we've got a quad stretch going on. Any little adjustments that help you feel those three things deeper are welcome. And also, if you're not in the full thing, don't feel bad at all. We're opening from where we're at right here. Let's take 3 more breaths, trying to let the breath go slower, pumping the lungs deeper. And after that third breath, when we start to release our hands, allow this right leg to go up to the sky. Make sure hips are equal, nice and centered on the mat. Give this right leg just another chance to stretch out up to the sky, grabbing onto the back side of the leg. And then from here, release the right leg long to the ground, let it rest. Left knee gets squeezed into the chest. Perhaps even as you're settling into this shape, you're starting to feel already parts of the body more open, more alive, more full of prana than they were even just 5 minutes ago. So let's begin to open the left knee to the left. Giving that brief moment for the inner thigh and the hip to stretch. And as the knee comes back up, start to send it into the twist. All the way over to the left. If you'd like to start straightening out the top leg, maybe the right hand slides down the back side of the leg, reaching for thigh, maybe ending up at calf or all the way to the toes. Big things opening up for us. This includes so many major muscle groups. And if we'd like to include the quads, the left hand grabs those free toes. Make sure the knee is readjusted to a direction that allows the quad to stretch. That's the front of the right thigh. And 3 more breaths with our lungs getting completely filled. And after all 3, hips return to the ground. Left leg gets another chance to stretch up to the sky, maybe slightly deeper. this time as we release, let's work our way up toward a seated place, coming directly into cobbler pose when we get there. Imagine that when you get here, imagine that you're allowing the shoulder blades to spread open, super wide in your back. And that's creating space in that heart chakra, opening not just the forward part, the chest part of the heart chakra, but also the back part of it. Head to be heavy, getting a nice stretch in the neck. Rise up from here, grab onto each of your ankles, helping the posture stay nice and tall. Allow the shoulders to drop down low, away from the ears, as the right ear comes over the right shoulder. Head back up and switch sides. And then when the head goes up here, the left leg slides long, right foot plants in front of us. And 3 times we're going to lift into wild thing. So left hand plants behind our back. Right hand is hovering in front of us. The right hand reaches up to the sky at the same time that we lift the hips up. Continue to trace the right hand here behind you. And then lower back down. The second one is just like the first. Up. And down. This third one, hold for 3 breaths in the back bend. When you lower down after the third breath, right side falls open on the ground. Reach up to the sky. And then take a nice forward fold over left leg. Okay, you're rising up, switch the legs out. So right leg is long, left foot is planted, right hand is planted, and then it's the left one that's preparing to do that sweep up to the sky. Lifting up the hips for 3, and down. 2, and this one, stay 3 extra breaths. Lower down, left thigh falls open, reach up to the sky, letting the spine go straight, and then release up and over. Another wonderful inhale. And exhale. Let's start to make our way down, all the way onto our knees. As we come here, cat-cows help us to continue to open up that heart chakra energy. All the way up, all the way down. The heart chakra is a big area that's responsible for spinal health. occasionally there's people you meet out in the world, out in public, where you start seeing their spine having been negatively impacted for many years. And so the heart chakra health is a big factor for keeping the spine able to stay erect and strong. It's this connection that we have with ourselves and with others. Take one more breath through the cat-cow, up and down. Let's rise up to a nice high kneeling place. We're going to take a half camel. Right leg goes open to the right. Left toes tuck. This one goes just slightly in a deeper back bend than the wild thing that we just practiced. So what we're doing is aiming left hand to rest on that left heel. Make sure hips are not leaning backwards. Instead, they're being pushed far forward. From there, this free right hand reaches up to the sky and helps you arch all the way down. So let's try to take 3 more breaths. After the 3rd breath, you can rise up, plant the elbows down onto the ground. We're trying to flatten the low back significantly. That allows us, by the top of the tailbone further back, that allows us to have this nice big thigh stretch, leg continue to open for us. Back up onto hands. From here, use your hands to help you lower all the way down into a prep for the left quadricep. So we're setting down, the left toes are off to that left side of us. Go ahead and swing the right leg in front of us. And we're going to start aiming our way backwards until we feel that left quad stretching. So this might be just to hands. You might drop down to one elbow, maybe both elbows. Some people can go all the way to the ground, helping that quad stretch. You'll notice we need to include the quad in our stretches today as we're preparing for some of our back bends that are coming up. If quads are tight, the back bends don't really come. They prevent us from going further. More beautiful breaths filling up the lungs. And then we'll reverse our way up, swing our knees underneath us, and take 3 or maybe 4 more sets of cat-cow, resetting the spine. As this next round comes to completion, we're going to start coming up to the high kneeling position, left leg opening wide to the left. Right toes tucked from behind. Right hand plants on that right heel. Hips are continuing to be pushed forward. And then the free left arm helps us to arch up and back through our whole spine. One more deep inhale. And exhale, come forward, drop down to elbows. Low back is trying to go flat. back up onto hands. We use our hands to support us, lowering down. We're setting the right toes to the outside of the right hip. The other leg can start swinging forward. And we walk backwards, maybe onto hands. Maybe just your left elbow drops down. Maybe both elbows. Really the point when the knee starts to really raise up, that's your body telling you that's about as much as the quad is capable of stretching. So no need to force anything further. Also, no point to having knee pain. Don't let that happen. 3 more breaths. Beautiful reverse to rise all the way up. Once we're here, knees come back underneath us. Let's lift into downward facing dog. Feel the hamstring stretch for us once again. Maybe we're pulling out the legs. From here, the right leg floats up to the sky. Step the right foot in between the hands. Once we get to that shape, arms sweep up to the sky. We're still balancing on the back toes, helping to strengthen that left quad. We're going to let that left knee bend and then re-straighten that leg. Just repeating 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands drop down. The back knee drops down. And we try to see if the right hand can sweep up and back, grabbing the back toes. If not, don't stress too much. Good. Helping the quad to be able to stretch at the same time that our hips are relaxing really deeply forward. As we start to release the back foot, we wind ourselves back into plank pose. You can always drop down to knees if you need to. Shift forward to lower chaturanga. This deep of a back bend, this feels really good right now. And if you ever want child pose as a break after back bends, that's okay. If downward facing dog feels ready, start to head up to that place. Left leg begins to float up to the sky. Step that left foot in between hands. Sweeping the arms all the way up. This is that 5 little pulses. The back knee lowers closer to the ground. And re-straighten the leg. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hands flat down, the back knee gently lowers. Hips are already set to a deep sink forward, making sure knee doesn't go past toes. From that deep sink, we try to see if left hand can grab the back toes. Release. We're making our way back to plank, lowering chaturanga. Nice back bend for just a moment, shoulders relaxing. And downward facing dog. At some point, you'll feel ready to start making your way up to the top of the mat, the next forward fold. Inhale, sweeps us up to the sky. Hands to the heart. And then reaching back up to the sky, your right hand grabs your left wrist. You pull that left arm up and then start to lean all the way over to that right side. Make sure your hip is allowing itself to go to the left. One more inhale. Exhale. Raise up. Switch out the grip. And then lift the right arm up before it starts to travel over. One more inhale. And exhale, rise up. Standing on the left foot, grab the right foot behind you. Both hands can even grip on as long as your balance is there. Knees are close together, tailbone does this under and forward so that we can enjoy that nice quadricep stretch. Leave your right hand, left hand starts aiming its way to the ground for candy cane. It's like half moon pose, only you're grabbing the toes hard. Those days when balance is not happening. It's all good.
Should your knees be pointed downward or to the right?
Open. Yeah, open to the sides. Okay. Now your top hand releases. You're in half moon for a moment. Transition from half moon into warrior 3. So the hip now drops its way down. You can have hands on the floor, or perhaps you're working hands to the heart, or airplane arms. Another good inhale. And then exhale, the front knee bends to help lower us down into warrior 1. Arms sweep up to the sky for a moment. Hands cartwheel back down. Lower the back knee back down. Left hand tries to aim for those back toes. From here, this time we're going to do little pulses. So we go back and forth between trying to push the foot into the hand so we're arching the heart backwards. And then when we pull the foot in as close as it can get to the glute, let your right arm bend like a chaturanga and then press up. So that was one set. Push the foot into the hand, take the heart arch, pull it in, chaturanga push. Good, one more, heart arch, chaturanga push. Drop your hand down, take your full plank, lower chaturanga. And then from here, right hand grabs right foot from behind. The foot pushes into the hand as we lift. You can even have left hand on the ground to help you take the arch. Almost like a bow pose. And then squeeze those toes in. Taking 2 more. Lift up to the arch, the foot pushes into the hand. And then lower, pull it in, quad stretch. And 1. Push. And pull. Beautiful. Maybe you want a moment with child pose. Maybe you're ready for downward facing dog. Feel how the right thigh feels significantly different than left right now. It's like if you've never really felt your quad before, this is a moment where you can feel that difference. And eventually you're ready to start walking your way up to the top of the mat in a standing forward fold. Inhale, sweep up to the sky. Hands to the heart. This time, drop your right hand to the right thigh as the left hand sweeps up and over. Perhaps leaning even deeper, opening up that part of the lung, those parts of the ribs. Next inhale brings us up, and switch it out. Inhale up. Shift your weight onto right foot. Grab the left foot from behind. Maybe both hands holding on for a moment. Knees close together, tailbone sweeps under and forward. Posture's trying to stay more or less upright. This requires a little bit of engagement of the core. Okay, left hand continues to hold the foot. Right hand, try to drop it down the same way we would drop down into half moon pose. The hip open, we're grabbing onto the toes from behind, we're squaring to the side. One more inhale. Exhale, release the hand-foot connection, a moment to transition through half moon. And then drop the hand down, square the hip down. Warrior 3, maybe hands float up to the heart or open. Step down a moment with Warrior 1, sweep up to the sky. And when hands float down, the back knee lowers. Perhaps right hand can grab the toes all the way to the back. Okay. Oh yeah, that's great. Yep. Okay, we're trying to go for the 3 pulses. So first, the foot goes backwards, our heart arches. And then as we pull the toes in as close as they want to go to the glute, we bend the left elbow and then press, building a little bit of strength. Okay, 2, take the heart arch, toes are going backwards. And pull it in, chaturanga. 1 more, heart arch. Pull it in, chaturanga. Beautiful, release. Take full plank, lower chaturanga. And then left hand grabs left toes. The 3 same pulses. So the right hand on the ground can help you with the back bend. The foot pushes into the hands to help us lift. And pull it in for the quad stretch all the way. Go to the glute if you can. Same thing 2, take the inhale. And pull it in. And 1. Beautiful. If you'd like child pose again, that's fine. Maybe straight up to down. Eventually making our way up to the top. Inhale, rise. Exhale, hands down to the heart. Moving for dancer's pose, right foot behind. I usually like to grab on the inner arch, but there are people who go from the outer arch. So personal preference, just make sure if you go outer arch, your knee's not going super wide. As you start to kick back, it's staying exactly in a nice straight flat line. So I like to lift my left arm up. That allows my heart to already start arching back. The kick of the foot into the hand is really where this is. We're only leaning forward to the amount that we need to help the balance stay there. Try to go 2 more breaths. Good. Perhaps lowering back into candy cane. Opening to half moon. Squaring down. Hand can drop, hip can square, and then maybe float up warrior 3. Land the back leg. Sweep the arms up, warrior 1. Open warrior 2. And triangle pose. Front leg straight. Reach forward. And enjoy that stretch, that opening of the heart energy. Good. Rising up. Square your hips back forward, like warrior 1 position, feet, hips forward. Clasp your hands behind your back. And then start to pull the arms into a nice shoulder stretch as you take pyramid pose. Feel that nice release in the low back. Opening of the shoulders. Dropping the hands down. We transition our weight into the front foot for standing split. Right leg floats. Maybe our hands go up close to the foot. Maybe one hand comes behind the ankle. Maybe the other. And when you feel ready to release, just transition to a nice forward fold. Spine gets to release down. One more breath cycle. Let the lungs pump. And rise up. Good. Second side, starting with dancer. Left hand grabs left foot. Maybe inner arch grab, maybe not. Right hand reaches up. And the initiation happens from the kick of the foot backwards. One more inhale. Exhale. Step your hand down, candy cane. Hips opening for this one. Release, open half moon. Start to square down to transition to warrior 3. And step back, warrior 1. Inhale, exhale, warrior 2. Front leg straight, shift forward, drop the hand down, triangle. Okay, rise. Square the hips forward. Clasp the hands behind the back. Same shoulder stretch as we straight pyramid. Hands drop down, shift onto your front foot, lifting left leg, standing splits. Maybe you just leave hands down, maybe you're working with the deeper balance. Drop down to forward fold when you're ready. Release all the muscles of the head, the neck, and the shoulders. Breath flowing, inviting in prana. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, slide down. Step off and jump back, lower chaturanga. From here, grab each ankle from behind. And we're going to try to lift into full bow pose for about 5 breaths. Imagine that the lift doesn't just stop at the first breath, but can you continue to rise. So when you're ready for your first inhale, start to lift. Get the feet into the hands. And continue to rise up higher. When you reach your 5th breath, just drop down. Transition back. Do take a child pose after that. Letting your forehead rest down. Up to downward facing dog. Lift left foot up to the sky. Maybe pause for a moment, rotating the hip open. And then start to square the hips, send that leg under and through pigeon. And stay lifted for a moment. We're going to play with Mermaid or any other variations we can achieve. Sometimes just holding right here with this amount of back bend is about all we can take right now, so don't feel any pressure to go further. Do note that as we head into Mermaid, if you imagine that you're drawing your inner thighs together, you have to have an active squeeze. That lift is what makes the balance more possible. So just note that, it'll help. So, lifting up the back toes, see if the right hand can grab that foot. If not, just pause in the back bend where you are. If you have the foot and it's pretty easy, you can begin to work the foot into the wrist, or into the forearm, or into the elbow crease. So you choose the distance. If this is still pretty easy and you want to go further, the full mermaid is clasping behind the head. Inner thigh squeezing wherever we're at. One more good inhale. Exhale, release. Find this nice sleeping pigeon. No pressure to try this, but if you want to, leave the right elbow down, and then the left hand wraps around your back, trying to see if you can find connection with the toes that are closer to the hip. If you find that clasp, you're not just holding on, you're also rotating the shoulders open. Know that this can also be done from the shoulder. The shoulder variation is a little bit deeper. So if you're coming out to try that out, you're welcome to. Yeah, right shoulder, you got it. Let's start to unwind. Take a brief transition moment. This could be absolutely child pose for a little while. This could be downward facing dog if little wiggles help you to do that recovery moment. When you do feel ready, take that down dog. This time it is right leg that floats, maybe pausing the lift and arching open for a moment. When you're ready to send it under and through, set it up in pigeon. Remember that you can already start to have that activation, pulling inner thighs together. There's a slight lift that can help with the balance quite a bit. Perhaps back toes lift, left hand reaching it. Maybe this is where we stay, maybe working it up to wrist or up to elbow, maybe full Mermaid. One more inhale, exhale, release, and lower. No pressure to go further, but if you liked the twist before, this time it's left elbow, or maybe eventually working to left shoulder down. As the right hand comes around, grabbing the toes that are by your hip. Shoulder continues to spiral open. Maybe by this point, unwind enough to lower to shoulder if you liked it before. To unwind. Take that transition pose. Maybe it's that child pose, maybe it's the down dog one more time. And as we lower down onto our knees and down onto our glutes, we're going to take any last poses that our body would love to do right now. So I'm going to guide us through shoulder stand into plow pose. If that's not in your practice, or if your body is craving any other just simple stretches right now, take those other things. There's no pressure to do what I'm doing. So if you're taking the shoulder stand, roll back, catch your hips, and squeeze your elbows together as you start to straighten your legs up. Right toes will go to the ground. Checking to keep the right leg very straight. Doesn't matter too much if you actually touch. It's more about the straightening of the legs. And switch it out to left. And both legs come back up together. They start to head back, plow. Maybe they never touch, it's not required. If they do touch down, then you're allowed to release the hands, clasping them together. Let shoulder squeeze. One more inhale. Exhale to gently roll out. When your hips touch down, continue to take any last beautiful recovery things. Maybe hugging your knees into the chest, taking a little twist, or taking a happy baby pose. There is zero rush to get into Shavasana, but you will eventually reach a point where you've kind of worked all those little tight things out and you feel more or less ready for it. So when you reach that point, find that beautiful, deep release of the muscles back into Mother Earth, letting her nurture you into recovery. Let your breath flow, inviting in prana for that beautiful recovery, that health, that vitality. And these images will gently lead us on into the next few minutes of begin to deepen inhales and exhales. Introducing little movements back to fingers and toes, ankles and wrists. Stretching it out like you're first waking up in the morning. Eventually rolling over to a beautiful fetal position on one side. Enjoying a few extra deep, relaxing breaths until eventually you feel ready to come up to a comfortable seated place. And we take a deep breath as we join our hands together in front of the heart, introducing even more prana into the lungs. Feeling open-hearted, feeling loving, connected, and feeling more whole with all this extra prana filling our system. And so with this kind of health to lead us onward, let's wrap up this wonderful time we got to share together with the sound of Om. Taking a deep inhale now. May we be filled with light and happiness and peace. Namaste.